You know him, you love him, you're gonna want more of him. Here he is now, it's Chattin' with Colin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Chattin' with Colin. And as you can tell, I'm a mess. Let's start with Friday night. So I'm at the TGIF concert behind Town Hall, 6 to 8 every Friday in May. We had the heavy hitters. The heavy hitters is Ricky Durago, who works at Branford Parks and Recreation. They were his wedding band. So it was a fun night. It's the second time we've had them. Ricky Durago actually just got promoted to the program's supervisor. So Victor Amatoria left and Ricky is there. So at the end of the night on Friday, I was shutting down the showmobile and a piece of the metal showmobile fell down and hit my head. So that has nothing to do with this. I'll get there. Metal hit my head. I swear I have a concussion. I have a gash. Workman's comp, everyone. Yes. Just kidding, but yes. And Ricky was there. Nally was there. People saw it. All good. But that was on Friday. Metal thing in the head. Also, this Friday we have Sister Funk. So we're going to throw up the graphic every Friday in May. So we have 2 more Fridays. This Friday, the 22nd, is Sister Funk. And then our last one is on May 29th, Forgotten by Friday. Forgotten by Friday is like a country group, so really fun. So that was Friday. Then yesterday, then Saturday, I went to see Kimberly Akimbo with my best friend Paula Rarick, the choreographer, owner of Studio One, also helps me with the shows at the Branford High School and Shoreline Theater Company. So we went to Kimberly Akimbo. I saw the show on Broadway, loved it, wanted to bring her. And then, so we saw that Saturday, great. Sunday, wake up, she calls me and says, hey, you want to go to the supply pond? Sure. It's a lovely day. Why not go for a walk? Going for a walk. We have her dog and then another dog, I think it was a German Shepherd. It was another big dog, came very excited to see Paula's dog, Gracie. And they were just playing. They were having a good time. And of course, I'm not ready. And they bulldoze me. And I fall, hit my arm on a tree, all scraped. So I have a gash in my head. Probably should have gotten stitches. I have a scrape here. It's not that bad, but it did bleed for a while. And Victor was like, do you want to change your bandage so it's fresh and clean for Chatting with Colin? No, I want you to see that I am in pain. Right? Oh, my God. I'm ridiculous. Okay, what can I tell you? Legacy Theater, Nonsense just wrapped up. Nonsense wrapped up yesterday. That was their first show of the season. Up next, beginning July 9th, we have The Wizard of Oz and then The Odd Couple. So go see their season. And coming up as part of the Broadway concert series that I produce, we have Matt Doyle on June 7th. Matt Doyle, that's at 2 o'clock on June 7th. It's a part of the Sunday Broadway concert series. John McDaniel's the musical director. He was my musical director when I was a kid on the Rosie O'Donnell show. He has lots of Broadway credits. It's so great that we have him in Branford. He's an Emmy and Grammy Award winner. And what else? We have that. Let's see. Oh, rehearsals for Into the Woods. I'm directing Into the Woods at the end of June. So we had over 50 adults audition for that. We have about 30 in the cast coming from all over Connecticut. It's going to be really fun. This year it's at Walsh. So ticket information and more to come on that. But right now I want to get right to the show. Couldn't get dressed up because I have a concussion and I'm injured and I should get like my hands dirty or something because we're talking to the garden club. So me, Colin, Mr. Green Thumbs. Really? I don't know. I would like to introduce to Chatting with Colin from the Garden Club, Jaye Andrews. Welcome to the show, Jaye.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
How are you?
I'm just fine. You can't argue with this weather, and it's perfect gardening weather. It's hot, but it's perfect, you know.
It's finally feeling a little bit like spring over the weekend. I mean, we got a little tease a few weeks ago, but then it was cold.
Cold.
Speaking of the Friday concerts, every Friday it's been cold. It's
Yeah,
been
I
like
noticed
50,
that.
50 degrees, but people are still coming out.
That's
People are
great.
still coming out. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Have you always lived in Branford?
No, I moved here about 10 years ago. I was born in New Haven at Yale, but lived here until I was a teenager, and then I took off and to explore the world. And when we explored the world, we found we had no place to come back to, so we went, where are we going to go? And Connecticut was it. So we came back about 10 years ago and just tried to jump in. I knew about Branford. My family had been up here quite a bit when I was a kid. So we just I said, Shoreline's nice. Let's see what that looks like. And so we went and we explored a little and chose Branford intentionally. It was a really good town, a nice mix of socioeconomics, and it was nice. It was just really nice, and you can't beat the water.
Yeah. Have you always enjoyed gardening?
Always. Yeah. Yeah. My parents were both avid gardeners, and I like being outside. So for me, just to get my hands dirty. And my first attempt at real gardening was in an apartment. I had a scratchy patch of dirt, and I planted cucumbers. And with all the additional stuff I threw in the dirt, I paid about $18 for 2 cucumbers that year. So it was not a stellar start, but I got started anyway.
That's great. How long have you been involved with the Branford Garden Club?
Since I got here, 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I work at the community house, and I see multiple times a week you guys have meetings.
We're all over the place over there.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
and you have an event coming up on the 27th of June?
Yeah. And
Tell me a little bit about it.
I get to chair it. That is the Branford Garden Club Garden Tour. Branford's Garden Secrets, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And it's, June 27th, 10 to 4, rain or shine.
All around Branford.
All around Branford. There are 7 gardens, and I don't know. I love garden tours because, first of all, I'm nosy. So I like to poke around people's houses and yards and see where. And I'm new to town, so if I don't go out and explore a little bit, I go from my house to the garden club meetings, and I also work at a food pantry, so back to the food pantry. So it's kind of limiting. It's a good way to get to know the town, and wonderful people working it. So
yeah, my mom loves the garden tour. She goes every year.
Oh,
but
great.
Explain what the event is.
Well, first and foremost, it's a fundraiser for the garden club. Okay. We do a lot of stuff around town, and people don't think about it, but it costs money. So we provide scholarships. There's a lot that the garden club does. It's a really good group, and fundraisers relating to gardens tend to be flower shows, garden tours, plant sales. We just had our big plant sale this weekend.
I just was driving past the Blackstone Library over the weekend, and you had something there on Saturday?
Yep. And we do a great big plant sale in the spring alongside the community gardens, and it was hugely successful. People really came out. That nice weather did help. So it's been a very busy time for the garden club. We grow and grow and grow things for that sale, and now that's done, throw everything in the corner and start doing the garden tour. And it's our last big event of the year. We end in June, and then in the summer we all go home and do our own gardens and worry about that. But
right. I remember a few years ago I was at the community house, and we shut down the community house for the whole weekend. There was a huge
the flower show.
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, so flower shows are one of those things that garden clubs tend to do. There's a big federated garden club, and they have all the outlines of what you're supposed to do, and we get credit for it. And by credit, that's mostly bragging rights.
Yeah.
But and in that you have several groups. One's horticulture, and that is just where you go and you see little samples of plants in jars for whatever reason, and you kind of go, wow. Mm-hmm. But it familiarizes you with the plants and really good specimens of plants. Then there's always the design sections, and that's where people just go crazy. You get given a theme and a size limitations, and they say, do a floral arrangement. And we have some, any flower show is amazing. You can never see how people thought to do all this stuff.
Oh my God! Just the entrance, Larry.
Larry.
That last time,
yes, he's
with
wonderful.
The peacock.
Oh, Percival, we call him. Yes.
My mom always said to me growing up, "You remember, Colin? Today's peacocks are tomorrow's feather dusters." Right, Carmel?
I think I like your mother.
Oh, we're the same person. But Larry is so creative. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, because it's coming in a few years, right? For the 100th?
For our 100th anniversary on 2028, we're doing a big flower show. Details to be decided.
Yeah.
But we are, and work's already started on it. We have a lot of plans coming for the 200th. We're going to do the flower show. There's just tons of stuff we're working on. We'd like to do several programs. We have a big educational interest in the garden club. We have a youth program. We have a seniors program, and all of it. I mean, for the youth especially, is to get them involved in gardening and appreciating what we have to do to keep this planet alive, and that there's a lot of work to do, sadly. But so. And the youth divisions, they're enthusiastic. They're, and you're raising a next generation of people that are going to pick up and do what we do. I mean, if they don't want to do floral arrangements, okay, but, support the pollinators. Don't put a bunch of garbage on your lawn just because you like it green. If you leave it alone, it'll be green. It just won't be grass. Truth be told. But, yeah, I can attest.
What are some of the other things the garden club does? So you got the house tours, you got, I know around Main Street, around the holidays, they do all the baskets.
All the baskets. We decorate the library. We plant daffodils around town. We support all sorts of different gardens around town. Anything in the center, the town green center stuff, we have our hands in somewhere. We advocate, for planting trees and sustainability, and we push for that within the town. We have a legislative action committee, and they keep an eye on what's going on in the state and federal government, things that we may or may not want to, act on. So it's a very big club.
Yeah. How many members do you have?
I was
do you
just
know?
Gonna,
I know. I'm asking the hard-hitting questions like Barbara Walters.
Let me just say, yeah. All right. First of all, my apologies to all of you in the garden club if I'm wrong, but I think it's about 140.
Wow.
Members. We're one of the biggest. I think we may be the second biggest. So,
and how do people get involved to find out more or to become a member?
You go to BranfordGardenClub.com and go to our website, and there's everything you could possibly want to know about it. There's an application online. You can join online. You pay your dues. Everybody pays dues, and you come to meetings. The meetings are held once a month, and as you join the garden club, they're very active in saying, "So, what are your interests?" And they slot you into. I mean, I'm also
the subcommittee.
Subcommittees. I'm the recording secretary, so I go to the board meeting, and the board meeting is a giant table with dozens of people around it, and they're all committee chairs, and all those committee chairs want help. So every new member gets reeled in really well. So, and involved. And it's, I have children, but not that are in the school systems or anything. So when you move to a new town and you don't have kids,
you got to find something to do.
You got to find some way to meet people and get involved. And so, yeah, I'm not the type who sits around and kind of twiddles my thumbs much, but
you also told me that you're not only involved with the garden club, you also are involved with the food pantry.
Right. Yeah, I'm the president of the Branford Food Pantry.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've been involved with food insecurity since I was in my 20s. So it's one of those things. Again, when I came into town, there are two things I kind of do, and that is kind of garden and kind of feed people. So I found out there was a food pantry here and got involved with that. And as it happens, before long, there you go. I was on the board, and now I'm president. Been there for 4 years, and it's a challenging job, but it's challenging everywhere, which is a cardinal sin, frankly. There's no excuse. I have been involved with food insecurity in Australia and in the Bahamas and here. And it's the same story, in every country. And in Australia, I was lucky because I got to work with a wonderful group called Fair Share. And they were started off as a small rescue group that cooked meals, froze them, and cryovac'd them, and froze them, and then distributed them. So when I got there, they were making a few $100,000 a year. When I left, they cracked $1 million. They were opening new kitchens, and they were starting to grow their own food. So I got to be in charge of one of the gardens. So that was unbelievable. I got to garden in Australia
That's great.
And help out. So yeah, it keeps you busy and it keeps you in touch with what's going on. And when crops fail, it keeps you humble, really humble. But,
You were also telling me earlier that your name is Jay, but it's short for Juliet.
best kept secret until now.
and your last name is Andrews. So
Yeah.
Julie Andrews. Do you
Yep.
have any stories about people confusing you?
Only the one time, really, when it I got a cold call, and I was living outside of New York City at the time, and it was from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And they said, Juliet Andrews? And I went, yes. And they said, well, Julie Andrews, we'd like to interview you, because we're doing a famous names edition. And I was like, oh, okay. And they didn't ask me much, and they said, you have to come in and take the test, and, then we'll talk to you. So I went into the city, took the test, passed it. Smart. But, and then I got sat down with an intern who asked me a few questions, one of which was like, tell me your funniest story about being Julie Andrews. And it was going to be hard to tell her that this was it, what I was doing.
Yeah.
I said, well, usually people call me Jay. And my mother, my grandmother, and so on, my oldest daughter, we're all Juliet. So, and at one point, three of us were living in one house. So we had nicknames came up. So
That's
anyway,
funny. I actually took the test for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I did not pass when I was living in New York, but I'm just a theater major. But
you got the Sunday test, the hard test.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of being just a teenager, just a theater major. Julie Andrews, 2 summers ago, I was her bodyguard.
Were you really?
In Branford when she was here for the summer.
Right. She was here at
directing,
Legacy.
directing the Great American Mousical at Legacy.
Yep, I saw that. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm a subscriber to their main stage. So
It's great.
I love
right?
Legacy.
Yeah,
it's great.
Such a great little theater, a little gem in our community.
It is. It needs support, but it's a great little gem.
It does. Just like the Garden Club needs support, just like the Food Pantry needs support.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about you or the Garden Club or the Food Pantry before we wrap?
Well, I just really hope people come out. I hope we get a nice day for the garden tour, but come on out. It's wonderful. You get to sneak around. Each one of the gardens has a little something that I cannot share with you right now because it's called a secret. But, gardens, things grow in places you don't expect them to sometimes, and it's a fascinating thing to see. So that's the garden tour. As far as the food pantry, just the fact that people know that we're here and that we're not the community dining room. There are 2 different organizations. Yeah. We're completely separate, but and we work to feed people, but just differently. And if people need food, Branford residents, you should not be shy. We feed over 300 families every month in this town. And so come on down. We're easy. BranfordFoodPantry.com, BranfordGardenClub.com. We try and make it real easy to find us. So
that's awesome.
And Branford's a fabulous place. Anyone who lives here is lucky to do so.
Well, thank you for sharing all this information about the Garden Club, the Food Pantry, your name, your history. Like I said earlier, I interview so many people that I have no clue what I would have in common with them. But I love all these interviews. Like, I'm not really a gardener, but over the pandemic, I had all of these plants that I kept alive. The 3 big plants in the community house. Mm-hmm. In the lobby, those are all from my house because my patio got way too small.
Well, yeah, it does that, yeah.
But also during the pandemic, that's when it started. And I've killed enough plants too, but those ones survived and they're thriving.
Great. That's beautiful. They're great plants.
I can't wait to check out the garden tour.
Please
I can't
do.
wait to have you on again as a guest to tell us about the future. And thanks for coming on, chatting with Colin, Julie Andrews.
Thank you very much, Colin. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay. And we will see you next time on Chatting with Colin. Have a great one. Bye. You know him, you love him, you're gonna want more of him. Here he is now, it's Chatting with Colin.